1920s, banks made it easy for people to borrow money to buy all of the new and exciting consumer goods that were being produced. Banks were also lending consumers money to invest in the stock market. Stocks allowed investors to buy shares of a business. Owning a share of a company is like owning a small part of that company. If the company continues to do well financially, the price of its shares rise. If the company doesn't do well, prices fall. Investors can sell their shares at any time. They receive whatever price the shares are worth at the moment of sale. During the economic boom of the 20s, many people invested their savings in the stock market. Stock prices for many companies continued to rise during the 20s, so investors made money and continued to buy stocks. The stock market underwent a period of tremendous growth, reaching its peak in August of 1929. While times were good for some people in urban areas during the 1920s, farmers in the United States were struggling. During World War I, farmers had purchased expensive equipment like tractors and harvesters to make farming less labor-intensive. This allowed them to grow more crops. The U.S. government paid farmers for these crops and used the food to feed U.S. soldiers. After the war, the government no longer needed all of this food. So farmers were faced with a crop surplus, which caused the prices to drop dramatically. Farmers struggled to keep their farms running. By 1929, economic trouble was beginning to brew back in the cities as well. Stock prices had continued to rise, but on Thursday, October 24th, 1929, the stock market began to crash. Stock prices began to fall on that day and kept falling all day. Suddenly, many investors wanted to sell their stocks, which made even more people want to sell their stocks. Stock prices dropped dramatically. By Tuesday, October 29th, or Black Tuesday as it was called, panic had overtaken the stock market. Almost 16 million stocks were traded that day, more than had ever been traded before. Millions of stocks ended up being worthless. People who had borrowed money from the bank to buy stocks were financially ruined or found themselves heavily in debt. After the crash of the stock market, many realized that for some time their belief in the strength of the market had not been based in reality. Panic began to set in. Let's review what we have learned about the beginning of the Great Depression. Question 1. A share in the ownership of a company is called what? A. An annual report. B. Profit. C. A stock. D. A balance sheet. If you answered C, you know that a stock is a share in the ownership of a company. Question 2. During what month in 1929 did the stock market reach its peak? A. May. B. June. C. July. D. August. The correct answer is D. In 1929, the stock market reached its peak in August. Question 3. Tuesday, October 29th, 1929 is also known by what nickname? A. Black Tuesday. B. Crash Tuesday. C. Panic Day. D. Financial plunge. If you answered A, you know that Tuesday, October 29th, 1929 is known as Black Tuesday.